My name is Nichola and I'm the Queen of Health. I'm a nutritionist and I work with people, bringing them through what I'm about to do with you guys today, looking at limiting self-beliefs, setting goals around vision and wellness, and showing people how the body can actually heal itself if it's given the right opportunity. I won't go into too much detail about my own background, but it's through my own health journey that I became the Queen of Health. Just briefly, I was 4 stone overweight. I had underactive thyroid. I was going through infertility and IVF. And through balancing my body, looking after both my mind, my body, and nutrition, I was able to turn things around and I lost 4 stone. My depression started to ease and I became pregnant naturally after going through years of IVF. And for that reason, I wanted to spread the word of health and nutrition and coach people to show that you don't have to do fad diets or try the latest trend to actually nurture your body. And this is where this program came about, to be the CEO of your own health, and how when you invest in yourself and you do a proper wellness vision for an entire year, how it can actually really give you amazing results. All you need today, guys, is a pen and a piece of paper, or maybe you have the template that we sent out to you, but not to worry, a pen and piece of paper is all that you'll need to get started today. So the first question that I'll just ask you to think about is, as we came through 2020, and what a crazy year that was, what was your health goals for 2021? And I'll just bring you through some of the goals that my clients have come back to me to let me know of what they were starting to see for 2021 for themselves. So a lot of people have entered into 2021 and it's about weight loss. And maybe it's to stop that yo-yo dieting. Maybe it's around nutrition and getting the education, because I really believe that if you have the education, it can become a lifestyle change. And there, as we said, lifestyle change. Is there something that you want to change and maybe have been stuck and can't move forward because of something that's blocking you? And maybe it's just to create a better life. The learnings that we've had from 2020 have given people so much more to kind of appreciate and create that better life for themselves. Some people have really got into meditation and self-care and even journaling, and we'll talk about that as we go through this presentation today. But the main thing I want you to start to think about is, do you put on everybody else's oxygen mask first and then look after yourself? I will challenge you, as one of your main goals after this session is to start to put on your own oxygen mask. See it as a self-care goal, that you're looking after yourself first and then you can look after everybody. Because if we give all our energy to everybody else and we become sick or we're not well, then we can't look after everybody else. So no matter anybody's role in life, there's none bigger than being the CEO, which is the Chief Executive Officer of our own health. We have the power and control to look after our health and happiness, as does a CEO of the success of their own company. But when it comes to our health, we kind of just take it for granted and we just push it to the side. And it's not until we start to get these little niggly pains or warning signs from the body, go, oh, I better do something about that. And the body is so clever, it will start to let us know when there's something not right. It could be that little ache, it could be the headache, but it's the warning signs that your body is trying to say, look after me. But we do take it for granted. So I'll ask a question, and maybe in the chat box, if you want to have a guess at this, and it's something that I'll ask everybody when I do a talk to people to get them thinking. So by the time we reach our 60s, what are the stats of developing one or more of the degenerative diseases? So what do you think the stats are out of 100% that people will develop cancers, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, arthritis? And then the question is, are you one of them? So have a quick guess out of 100%. What do you think is the answer. So we have 85%, 70, 70% coming through. Good guesses, guys. 60, 65, 80%, 65. Amazing. Okay, brilliant. Thank you. It's actually 83% of us may have one or more of the following diseases. These are degenerative diseases. And a lot of them people will say, oh, sure, it's my age, but it's all health related. Heart disease, type 2 diabetes, arthritis, cancers. I'm seeing more clients come through my clinic doors now with heart disease, with type 2 diabetes. But we have to look at how can we take control of our own health? How can we prevent this, that we're not one of the 83%? When you are the CEO of your health, you can start to see that your mood and concentration level really improve. You have this increase in your physical performance, your quality of sleep is really, really improved, and you extend your healthy lifespan. It's like our bank accounts. We try to save, we try to top that up all the time so that we have this little reserve, as they say, for a rainy day. But what about our health account? When do we top that up? Do we top it up daily? Or is it only when something happens that maybe we have to go to the doctor and we go, I need to start looking after myself? So what I want to do is to show you how to create this health vision, how to figure out what we actually want with our health and our overall life, because it's really, really important. And this is just like a business. At the start of the year or the end of the year, before they go into a new year, they have a vision and a purpose, and it's basically the driving force. And without this information, without having a complete map, we'll never know if we've achieved our goals. But once we're clear of what we really want and our actions, then we can start to spend the time to invest in this and making sure that we're looking after our future self. And it's time now to start living the life that you have imagined. And a lot of my clients, when I'm working with them, have limiting self-beliefs. And a limiting self-belief, maybe you've heard about them, maybe it's something new, but this is something that may have happened from childhood. If you think about, say, our parents, our siblings, the people that we've surrounded ourselves with, maybe we were told that you can't do that because we can't afford it, or you can't do that. We've always had the can'ts. And these become part of our life, and these become a limiting self-belief that sometimes as we get older, they present themselves to us and it's a block. But if we don't know what a limiting self-belief is, we don't know where they've come from. Again, in school, maybe something has happened in school to a child where a teacher has told them they're not good enough or they can't do something, and that becomes their belief system as they start to get older. So I want to challenge that today. I want to challenge your limiting self-beliefs and push those boundaries. As I say, feel the fear and just do it. When you're outside in that, outside your comfort zone, it's where the magic happens. But that can be the most frightening thing to actually have to do. Okay, so this is where we get to do a little bit of work, where we get to look at your health and your wellness vision. And what I have here in front, you just need a pen, piece of paper. I'm going to ask the questions. I'm going to coach you through this like I do with my clients on a one-to-one basis, and show you how at the end you will have a little template that you can use every single day. Okay, so what I want you to do is to write down the top 4 things that you want for your health and wellness for 2021. Okay, so I'll give you 60 seconds to do that. Just 4 words or quick short sentences of what you really want. So you've got 60 seconds for that. Okay, so I'm going to share with you one that I did with my client so I can show you the reality of it as we work through your health and wellness vision. So this particular client wanted to lose weight, they wanted to run 5K, they wanted to have more energy, and they wanted to increase their mood. So now I challenge you and I'll ask you underneath for each of the visions that you've put out there, I'm going to ask you, why do you want them? Like I asked my client, why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to run? Why do you want to have more energy? And why do you want to increase your mood? So I'll give you 60 seconds to put down your why. Okay, so let me share with you my clients' whys. So why did they want to lose weight? They wanted to feel better. Why did they want to run that 5K? Because they wanted to be fitter. And for the energy, they just wanted to be able to exercise. And for the mood, they wanted to be fit, to want to feel happier. So then I challenged them, and I'll challenge you now as well and ask, what actions will you take for your health and wellness visions? So with this client, I said, well, what action will you take to feel better, to be fitter, to exercise, and to feel happier? So I'll give you 60 seconds, guys, just to write down what actions will you take. Okay. And this particular client, their actions were to lose weight, to feel better, they were going to eat more healthy. To run the 5K, to be fitter, they were going to start the Couch to 5K challenge. To have more energy was to be able to exercise. They were going to balance their blood sugars through their diet. And for their mood to feel happier, they were going to start meditation. Now, the next challenge that I'll ask for you to write down is, how will you do it? So for this client, I challenged and I says, well, how will you eat more healthy? How will you start the Couch to 5K? How will you balance your blood sugars? And how will you start to meditate? So I will ask you now just to write that down. I'll give you 60 seconds for that one. Okay, so let me just show you. Now, this is something different that I do with my clients, and it's the power of the I am. And it's not something that I've made up. This is scientifically backed up, and I'll explain about it in my next slide. But it's taken the visions and of the wellness and the health goals and bringing them into the present tense, because we can always start the year with I want. So I want to lose weight, I want to run, I want to have more energy, and I want to increase my mood. But all these I want is just something that may never happen. But when we bring it into the present tense, and it hasn't happened yet, and it may feel a little bit, this feels a little bit weird, but what I challenged my client to do was, I said, okay, you've stood on the scales, you're not happy with the figure of jumping up and down on the scales, and one week being told you're 2 pounds up and then two down, and letting a number make you feel happy or sad. I said, what clothes size do you want to be? So this particular client said, I'm a perfect size 14. And I says, okay, well, let that be your goal. I am a perfect size 14. I am now running 5K with ease. I am energized and feel fantastic. I am happy and love my life. So what I'll ask you to do now is take your 4 goals, and I want you to put them into the present tense now as if you have already achieved them. So if it was that you wanted more energy, you can write down, I am energized and feel fantastic. So let me give you 60 seconds just to write that down, and then I'll explain the science behind these mantras. Okay, so I'll just give you 60 seconds there to do that. Okay, we're nearly there. So just try and get those I ams. Okay, so what I do then with my clients, I ask them to take these I ams and maybe pop them into a diary or something that they open up every day beside the computer, but that every day these become your mantras. And every day you're saying, I am. So I am the perfect size, if that's your goal. I am now running 5K. And I'm going to explain about these now in a sec, just to give you that little bit of science behind it. But there are things that may stop you, and you have to realize that 80% of our thoughts are negative. It's when this negative ego jumps in to tell us that you can't or you'll never be that. And that's a limiting self-belief. But once we're aware of it and know that it will present itself every now and then, that's okay. It's to just be aware of this emotion or this feeling and be able to move forward. Okay. And there is other things that would have stopped this client, like time, weather, and negative media. But it's once you know that there is things that may just jump in every now and then, because it's like people when they start on the journey, the first 4 weeks can be really motivating, and then suddenly life gets in the way. And it's to know that life will get in the way, but that you're aware and you stop, breathe, and just have a moment about it. So just around the power of the I am affirmation. So they are, Google it afterwards, guys, if it's something that you have not heard of before. It's the subconscious mind does not think of past, present, or future. So if you affirm that you want something, then you get the wanting, but you don't really get that thing that you are actually wanting. The positive affirmations, so the positive power of I am, are phrases or mantras that we repeat to ourselves, which describe a specific outcome or who you want to be. At first, they might not be true, and that's where the scary part goes. God, I am, but I'm not. But with constant repetition, our subconscious minds starts to believe them. It's like a vision board. If anybody's ever done vision boards, or looked into, you may have heard about the secret and the law of attraction. There's a lot to do with this. And eventually these affirmations do become reality. So I do say to people, be careful for what you wish for, because they do come true, but you have to be realistic. It's not, I'm going to win the lotto on Friday, because it has to be a realistic goal and achievable as well. But we need to remind ourselves every day. So with those mantras that you have just come up with, your I ams, I want you to have a business meeting with yourself every morning, just like the big leaders do with their teams. And this is the same as setting that daily intention. It takes no more than 30 seconds. And I shared a little bit of my journey, and I would have started my I ams way back, probably 8 years ago. And there's some of those I ams that I still practice every day. So if I'm in the car and I'm driving somewhere, that's when my I ams, and I just can say them out loud, or I can say them in my mind. But once I'm saying them every day. And the reason why we deceptively simple mind trick really works is that what hides behind so many deviations from a healthy eating plan is forgetting what we want and why it's important. So I want you to start thinking of the day as a journey, that we're using a sat nav or a map to get us through from the start of the morning right through the end. And this GPS is our success. So how this looks in practice is that you take your inspiration from the vision that we've just done and you put an action towards it. So that might mean something like, every day I'm making healthy food choices. I am one step closer to my goal. And I find when working with clients, if it is a healthy lifestyle, it's making that one change sometimes is more achievable than going in and changing their whole eating plan per day. Sometimes we start with breakfast, then we get breakfast and we move to lunch. It's making those small things, like couch to 5K. It's like, I'll walk for 2 minutes, I'll run for a minute. It's accepting that what we actually can achieve ourselves. So the formula, so what I want and what I must do to get there, this is your success. So you will say this out loud every morning, or as I said, you can say it within, your subconscious as well. But I find sometimes when it's out, it just changes the energy around you. And when you start taking actions that are not aligned with your vision, what has happened is that you can no longer remember what's in it for me. Bringing the practice into a daily business meeting with yourself can keep you on track and keep you moving forward. Because if we've set a goal today and you don't go back over them, and you might find that piece of paper a couple of weeks down, it really is to have it there every single day, and it just becomes part of your daily routine. So love your body with food. A healthy body relies on eating real food. So I believe in 80-20%. 80% is really putting good, nutritious, balanced food into the body. And that leaves 20% for those treats and those occasions that we have. So since I started talking about sat navs and maps, I want to keep using that analogy of driving. So one absolute basic about owning our own car, right? If you have a car or you know somebody that has a car, it's about putting the right fuel in the car. So this sounds really straightforward, but the AA have said that hundreds of thousands of people misfuel their car every single year. And I do even see there's trucks now, there's businesses out there that are actually making a business financially by people putting the wrong fuel into their car. And we can do it without even thinking. But this results in, thousands of unnecessary damage, like new fuel tank, new fuel lines, new fuel injectors. So, and sometimes people have to get a whole new system. So just keep thinking about that with the car. But if I told you now, if you have a car, that this is the last one that you're ever going to have, you can't have a new one. And it's not, if anything goes wrong with it, you can't sell it. You have to keep it for the rest of your life. And if you knew that this vehicle was the last one that you would ever own, would you take better care of it? And what do people change? Why do people change their oil filters? Because when a car is clean, it'll actually run better. It's like our bodies. We've got a liver, we've got lungs, we've got kidneys, and there are filters. And once we treat our body with proper nutrition, we can make sure that our body detoxifies itself properly. A lot of people go into a new year and they have to detox. I've had 3 weeks of overindulgence at Christmas, and I have to really now detox or restrict myself. And we don't have to do that. If we have the right fuel that goes into our bodies, the bodies will work the way that they're meant to. So why do we do frequent preventative maintenance with our cars? Because if we don't look after the cars, the fuel, the engines, everything will have to be replaced. But guess what? You are in that last vehicle. You are in a body that is yours. It's the only place you have to live. So if you don't look after your body, you will have nowhere to live. And it's when I heard this before, it got me thinking, going, wow, yes, we never stop and think that this body that we have is the only place we'll ever have to live, and we have to look after it. So we need to put the right fuel in. We need to make sure that we are having those daily business meetings with ourselves, and we are nurturing our bodies. Going through life hoping other people will make you happy is like walking around in a fully stocked kitchen, never reaching for food, but hoping to be fed. Reach. It is your responsibility to feed your own soul. So love your body with food. Eat real food. It doesn't have to be that juice cleanse, just good, honest food. Natural ingredients, trying to make things from scratch, and drinking plenty of water. The body is 60% water. We need to hydrate every single day with a minimum 2 liters. And when we look at water, there's, people will fuel up with coffee and carbonated fizzy drinks, but our engines, our bodies are fueled to work off water. It's like our brains are 65% fat. We need to get good fats into our body, but there's been marketing out there to tell us low fat and reduce fat. Yes, the hydrogenated fats and the processed fats, but we need to get avocados in. We need to get nuts, seeds, oily fish every day for mood, for concentration, for hormones. And especially now with the dark evenings, if people are in a position that they are going to work in the dark and coming home and they're not getting much daylight, people could be suffering from seasonal affective disorder. So it's so important to fuel up with the good fats, and also it's no harm to supplement with a vitamin D supplement too. And I will be sharing some recipes with you later on in a link that will go to you. But these are my Funky Five breakfast smoothies that I've come up with for my clients to make sure that we're getting hydration and the good fats in, as well as protein and greens and all the right combination that gets my clients from breakfast right through to lunchtime. And like what I said earlier, sometimes it's only that one meal that we start with. And if people can get 2 or 3 of these into them each week, it's a great start to fuel that engine. So mindset plays a huge role in our overall well-being and how good it feels to be you. And yet we might find that taking care of our emotional needs when life gets busy or complicated slips away. So just think about the last couple of months, and has your priority moved from looking after you to other things? Because we have been stressed, we have been, anxious, and a lot of our body has been depleted of good nutrients because of stress levels. And when people are highly stressed, the B supplement within our body is depleted. So if you are stressed or overwhelmed, there is no harm in taking a B complex to actually help and support you through these crazy times. And when we practice self-care, it's so important now more than ever. Self-care is the recognition that you are entirely responsible for your happiness, although others can contribute to it as well. And it's good to have connections because, humans, we do connect and we do buzz from other people, but we do need to be responsible for our own happiness. And all kinds of things can come into a good self-care plan, from doing things for yourself every single day. Even the little thing of, if you have a bath, is to have an Epsom salt bath maybe once a week. It's somewhere that you can switch off and just relax and be in the moment. It could be just reading a book, but it's just that you're switching off from the general world around us. We need to rest and recharge. So we know sleep is really, really important, but we should be aiming for 8 hours sleep a night. Our mood, our creativity and tolerance, they all will be lowered if we aren't getting enough sleep, and motivation as well. And with that, then our daily mantras and our eating will go out the window. We have to move in a way that we love. So our bodies love to move, and we've been designed to move. 30 minutes every day is the minimum that we should be doing. But it doesn't have to be running or something that you don't like. It can be just getting out into fresh air and walking. It can be yoga. It's something that makes you smile, something that just brings on those endorphins, the happy feeling that you get from exercising. And we want to create the habits that last. So just what I want you to remember with everything that I've spoken about, that it takes 3 weeks to break a habit. It takes 6 weeks to create a new habit, and 36 weeks for the new habit to become that default habit. So it does take time, and sometimes breaking the habit can be the hardest part. And the good news is that since habits are just a series of repetitive actions, you can practically do an autopilot. You teach yourself over time to do something else instead. And it's like those daily mantras. They're a new habit for most people, and it's within 3 weeks, they'll just become part of your routine. So just in the question chat box, I just ask, is there any actions that you will take from today's session? I'd love to hear if there's anything that you will do as a result of listening to me today. If you want to pop them in, and we'll have a little look and see what actions people are inspired to take to be the CEO of their own health and wellness. And just in case you want to get in contact with me, my contact details are there. There will be a free ebook with everything that I've spoken about and a lot more added to it coming to your inbox, and you can book in for a complimentary health and well-being check in. So thank you so much for joining me. Do check out my social media platforms. I will have a lot of challenges coming up in the next couple of weeks and months. I'm doing a community challenge where I'm doing free sessions to coach people through the next 4 weeks of lockdown to support more of like this. So you can get more information in my on my social platforms. But guys, thank you. And Christina, thank you. Michelle, thank you for the opportunity today. So thank you.